Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody tonight? I got up on time this time, 9:45. What do you know? Ha ha ha! I hope you all are doing okay. I'm gonna put this up for you all to look at. I got a little inside scoop of what's going on with Stormy Daniels. She released a sketch of the man that convinced her to tell her story. But anyway, you'll see in my title, and I hope you all are doing okay. As you can see in my title, I put contempt. Once again, Mr. T has been cited for contempt, isn't it? And they fined him $8,000. And he mentioned again that they got the place like an icebox in there. And he's having to sit there all day. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. And once I get some people in the chats, I can see if my stream is going good. Make sure it's running smooth. And I'm keeping an eye on the clock. And I appreciate the comments I've been getting in the comment sections after my video. I got a couple on Rumble, and I got on Utizzle. Willie Nelson is 91, they say. 91. I think, wow, I didn't think he was that old. But you know what? It makes me feel good because they got, at least another, 13 years of Trump? You know, because Willie Nelson, he's rode hard, put away wet. And I'm sure he's had his nose in moonshine and little marijuana and God knows what else, and late night partying. Mr. T doesn't do any of that. So if Willie Nelson can make it to 91, so can Trump. And that's what I always say when I hear these stories of people living a good long life. And that's what the libs got to look forward to with Mr. T. So let me see who's coming in. Oh, good. I got a 5x5. Hi, Linda Marie. Gary, how you doing? Nice to see you. Sissy, Vicky, Raven's Wings, Island Girl, Debbie. So, we got two Debbies. Yay. So, anyway, single songwriters in. Good. And I got your message on Rumble. Yeah, I've seen that video. That's got over 9 million views. And if you go to a comment, let's see, that's a comment under one of my videos. But anyway, it's a history of the Republican Party. And, you know, I've read about 3 autobiographies of Lincoln and different books. I know about the Dred Scott decision and Taney, Supreme Court Justice Taney was responsible for that. So, yeah, I appreciate the link to that. And hi, Roland. How you doing? Let's see. Hi, David. Nice to see you. So, anyway, where is that link? Right here is Willie Boy. Happy birthday. That was yesterday. And I don't know, you know, they say everybody in Hollywood was compromised, is compromised. You know, I don't think they messed around with country music too much. There wasn't enough money in it. You know, that hee-haw money back in the day on TV, I don't think it was enough to motivate the deep state. I don't think they got a hold of Minnie Pearl with her price tag on her hat, stuff like that. But anyway, got to give him a thumbs up for trucking along for that long. That's for sure. Hi, Wanda. Nice to see you. So speaking of people of advanced age and things I talked about last night, where is it? Here it is. Here is the video I watched on Dick Van Dyke. It was only 1 minute and 13 seconds. you guys just make a mental note. You know, it's easy to look up on YouTube. And I was confused. He's like, it's just now dawning on him that he's being manipulated by the media. He's 93, I believe. And he may be older than that. I don't know. He's in his 90s for sure. And I just was trying to understand where he was coming from as a longtime liberal. His intimation was that somebody's protecting the Supreme Court to protect Trump and that the media is manipulating him. And you figure after 90 years, you know, it's just now dawning on you that you're being manipulated, but maybe not the way you think. It's just an interesting video from a psychological perspective. I put this on Truth Social, and this one here I'm putting up, and it got some likes. Maybe something you want to put in your quiver, and tying into what I've been discussing here and there on my past 4 or 5 videos, the VAX, right? Yeah. I see, Jerry. Yeah, Willie was never woke. Unless they tapped on his bus window. That's right. Yeah, I don't think they got to the country music crowd. And by they, I mean the same ones who've compromised all the stars. And like I had that thumbnail up of LeBron James in a French maid dress. I don't know. Since I'm putting up stuff I talked about last night, I just described this to you all. I guess I could show it now. This is where somebody was talking about the Simpsons constantly having these predictions. And this is a little collage they put up. As we know, they already did a cartoon of Mr. T in the box, if you know what I mean. And so here they've got RIP Joe Biden 2024. Then here they got Ukraine. Homer running with a Ukraine flag. And on the barrel there, they got circled 2022. So, okay. Then the one I'm wondering about, and I guess we'll find out soon enough because May 5th is only, 5 or 6 days away? 0505 24, and they're showing the big mushroom. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over Simpson cartoons. And I know there's going to be a scare event, but it's just interesting. I thought I would show you all what I was talking about last night. So, enough of that. And this is something else I was talking about last night. In case you guys want, anybody got any doubts on what's happening with the dollar. And think about precious metals, okay? And I don't have any deals with any Noble Gold or anybody. But you might want to think if you can afford to divest, be a good time to do it. Because I got some figures on what's happening in the gold market. I already showed you how the Chinese have really stepped up their gold purchases, and so have the Swiss big time. So anyway, this is Andrew Jackson was added to the $20 bill in 1928. So it's worth a $1.12. A $20 bill is worth a $1.12 compared to that. So it would have to be changed to a $356 bill. So that's the silent thieves, folks. That's how, who are the silent thieves? And we're going to be finding that out. And why our money dwindles in value. The more they print, the less what's in your pocket is worth. It's that simple. Hi, Em. How you doing? Andrew, how you doing? Lori. Nice to see you, Jerry. My grandpa's dollar was 3 times bigger. Wow. You still got it? Let's see. I got my Kennedy 5 my mother got for me. Hi, Debbie. Let's see. Do the 5. I gotta. I guess you're talking about my Kennedy 5. I have to put that on the screen. Let's see, Gary. Let's see. My chats are jumping around. Yeah, Willie's a folk country singer, kind of like Bob Denver. I mean, oh gosh, you all know who I'm talking about. Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Here we go. I guess I'll go ahead and put this gold situation up. You know, Japan might be a canary in a coal mine. Give us a little warning, okay? Here we got Russian gas cut off from Japan. The yen, the Japanese yen, is in free fall to maintain competitiveness. BRICS bloc is buying up insane amounts of gold. Yen is turning to funny money vis-a-vis gold. The new global system is taking shape before our eyes. And here you see a graph from Japan. Gold's price enters uncharted territory. If the precious metal is a standard, the yen's devaluation is unprecedented. You take a look at that. In the past 24 months, it's rocketed past the highs of 1980, okay? It's just rocketed past that. And Willie would wipe floor. John Denver, right. John Denver. Thank you, Gary. Dirty Sausage is here. How you doing? Nice to see you. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Yeah, Wanda got a single songwriter got it. Debbie's got her Kennedy 5. Yeah, Sorosio is famous for, yeah, they're manipulating currency, and so's China, CHYNA. Yeah, he broke the bank there in Ukraine. That's where he made his first, the UK. That's where he made his first billion. Old Georgie Porgy. Hi, Christina. So let's see. I'm just getting down to the bottom of the chat. So I'll go up as high as I can. Oh yeah, you could buy quite a bit in 1920. My friend I was telling you about the other night, he said when I was a kid, a dollar bill was like a blanket. He used to call me Junior. He'd say, Junior, when I was a kid, a dollar bill was like a blanket. A blanket. So, yeah, it's not like a blanket anymore. Candy wrappers and funny money. So, with that situation with the yen in gold, I want to show you something else. This is electricity costs per kilowatt hour in Japan from fiscal year 2013 to 2022. Why is that interesting? Well, I'll tell you. It looks to me like in 14 there was a high, okay, of 20 yen, 31, whatever their changes. So it's been between 17 yen and 20 yen for 5 years. That's fairly stable. What do we see in 2020? 6 years or 7 years. All pretty stable. All between 17 and 20. Then you hit 2022. It goes up to 27 yen. Over 27 yen. Gosh knows what it is now. And with the oil being cut off and the devaluation of the yen, I'm just saying, certain economies are going to be a canary in a coal mine. Here's something else I talked about yesterday that I didn't get to show you. Mail online. Young people now are identifying as gender season, meaning their gender changes with the time of year. I feel more masculine in the summer. So here's what it looks like in case one of them walks up on you. You'll know what you're dealing with. There you go. On the screen. I'm sure that's natural coloring. But anyway, in case you want to get this and share it with people, it's shrunk down good enough. Yeah, well, people have been talking about the silver skyrocketing for a long time. And it just hasn't. But it will. I remember when they tried to corner the silver market back in the 70s. And everybody was, oh gosh, look for sterling silver at the yard sales. And then it crashed, and it's been down ever since. Anyway, well, while we were live last night, some bad news happened. Bad news. Before I went live, there was a shootout in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And one of the officers, there were a total of 5 officers wounded and 3 passed away. But last night, while we were live, this came out that one of the officers, a 4th officer, didn't make it. And so now it's up to 4 that passed away. That was where they were going to serve a warrant on a felon. So I tell you, I get involved with some of these videos where, and I've talked about in the past, people giving cops a hard time. You got to have a balance and discernment, because I wouldn't want to do it every day. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to put if I had a wife, I wouldn't want to put her through it. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Every time I go live, I never know when some kind of news is going to crop up while I'm live. And as we get closer and closer to whatever kind of, I might as well say collision. There's going to be a collision at some point with the situation in our nation. Well, it's actually worldwide. And what's going on in the colleges tonight, they say New York is going to be popping off as far as cleaning those students out. Here, let me see. Just before I went live, I didn't even get to crop this. 8:45. Raid on Gaza camp at Columbia University expected soon. There's videos all over the place about Jewish students. One was taken away in an ambulance. A young lady was ganged up on. And I think here it is right here. I believe this is it. Citizen Free Press, a young Jewish woman unconscious by pro-Palestinian protesters. A medical student at UCLA posted the footage on Instagram this afternoon. She suffered a concussion, now in stable condition. I've got all kinds of videos. If you're on X, Carly Bonnie puts them up. Citizens Free Press on Truth Social puts them up. I don't put up, stuff, especially on this platform that would just have the video disappear. But here we have, how is this lunatic Brit professor anywhere in America? He's openly preaching violence at the Columbia University in New York. Shout out the Palestine Air Force. Shout out the drones. Shout out to the paragliders. We can't be shy about this. So he is getting students to congratulate the paragliders, okay? And anti-Jewish sentiment, and I really can't feel uncomfortable saying that because they take so many videos down. So, but hey, we'll talk about it as best we can. And this was 6 minutes, about a half hour ago. New York Police Department carrying zip ties into Columbia University. It's going down tonight. And earlier in the day, there was footage at a train station of hundreds of, air quotes, protesters showing up, basically reinforcements. People, this is coordinated. Somebody's coordinating this stuff. And we just might be seeing, maybe operation is too big of a word, but we're seeing a flushing them out. Who's behind this stuff? And, you know, I had this video about a week ago. I got this. Might as well play it for you tonight. And I remember when this happened. This happened around the same time as Kent State. And a lot of you all know about Kent State. But it wasn't reported on like Kent State. But the same thing happened. They were having protests in California colleges. Reagan called out the National Guard, and a student got SHOT and didn't make it. But it didn't get the publicity of Kent State, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I remember the long version. I've seen the long version of Reagan dressing these professors down. Listen to how he described what was happening on the campuses in California.
Told you for days in advance that if the university sought to go ahead with that construction, they were going to physically destroy the university.
Now, why did you negotiate many times?
Negotiate? What is to negotiate? What is?
The university is a public institution.
That's right. But the university,
for its own community and for the community of Berkeley that live around it.
All of it began the first time some of you who know better and are old enough to know better let young people think that they had the right to choose the laws they would obey as long as they were doing it in the name of social protest.
And he got up, they cut the video off there, he got up and he walked to the door, entering the office, and he opened the door up and he turned back and he looked at those professors, and man, he was, you could tell he was on edge of, well, the story was that as governor, he was considering jailing people that incited or were responsible for those riots back in the 60s. And that nerdy professor, that smart aleck professor arguing with the governor there, you saw him doing it. He was probably one that would have got arrested. You didn't see anything about it. You didn't see anything about it in the newspaper. They quieted down real quick because Reagan, you didn't fool around with Reagan. And but anyway, that's the truth. We had students get SHOT by National Guard, and it wasn't just Kent State. And they didn't do it again while Reagan was president. I'll put it that way. Let's see what's going on. I'm just checking the chats. if I missed saying hi to anybody, I apologize. But oh boy, I go through his chest and they pop right back down to the bottom. So anyway, I've got another Reagan clip. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? So, have you seen Nancy Pelosi? She's been not getting the Queen treatment on MSNBC and CNN like she thought she was has been getting. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Oh, you're welcome, Angelo. You know that. You're quite welcome. Larry, how you doing? I don't know what that professor from Britain. Oh, the one in the Reagan clip. Yeah, he looked kind of creepy, didn't he? He had a smart mouth on him, I know that. So anyway, Nancy got in a huff with one reporter. I wasn't sure if it was CNN or MSNBC. I didn't get a chance to get a clip of that. But she was going, Joe Biden has the best job record of any president, and Donald Trump has the worst job record. And the reporter said, well, we had a global pandemic. And she got bristled up. And she's like, you're an apologist for Trump. If that's your purpose, it's certainly not my purpose. The bottom line is Trump had the worst record for jobs of any president in history. Well, that's one reason why I keep on going on about the pandemic, why I keep showing the memes and articles about that. Because that was orchestrated along with the steal, okay? And we'll keep. I'll try to get away with doing a video dedicated to that on my other channel. We'll see how it goes. But Pelosi is no fan of the protesters. This is when she was on MSNBC. If they think that it's persuasive to come and disrupt the convention, I don't know who they're persuading. They've decided, quote, genocide Joe, this or that, and that makes me question the motivation of some of them. So she sounds like she's getting about as confused as Dick Van Dyke. They can't, things aren't going the way they're used to things going, and undeniable truths are coming out and they can't reconcile it in their brains. And it's pretty fun to watch. But like I said, with that interview with Nancy getting snippy with the reporter about Trump's job record, that confirms all the more that CNN has got to comply with the Truth and Reconciliation Act. And here, speaking of that, this is a clip I told you all about last night. It's just a short clip on CNN about the photographer for Trump and what he said about the storm. And everybody here knows the meaning of that word, the storm.
I am the storm. Emotional storm. And I said, I can't live with that anxiety all the time. As a fellow human being, I'd like to know how you weather the storm. He calmly looked at me and he said, I am the storm.
So I was, like everybody else, I was just shocked that CNN put that out. And it was a much longer interview with this person. And it turns out that that quote he's giving was before Trump even announced that he was running for the presidency. But it does also show you that this has been in the works for a long time. What we're seeing, what we're going through, this counter operation, psychological operation, that's what it is, a counter psyop. In response to illegal psychological warfare campaigns in the plural. Rubber Toe, how you doing, cameraman? How you doing, cameraman? That's right, I don't comply either. So I'm seeing, we had a new person in the other night. So hopefully, as we all want to happen, we want to bring people along to wakey, right? You know, I want to show you something, and I want to ask y'all a question in the chats. This is what Mr. T posted, okay? He posted this exact picture. I lifted it from Truth Social. No comment. He just posted it. It's from the GOP on X, I guess. And it says, "Make America Great Again." And you see it's the cover of Time. Have you all seen that cover of Time? This is what Mr. T put on Truth Social. What the GOP put on X. Give me a 1 if you saw the Time magazine cover. If you didn't see this Time magazine cover, put in a 2. 13 BLT, how are you doing? Hi, Wayne. Give me a 1 if you saw this cover yet. Give me a 2 if you didn't see it. This cover. The one Mr. T posted on Truth Social. Oh, really? Nancy's eyebrows were different? I really don't want to analyze her face. Who knows what they do? Probably got a set of faces on her dresser. She, sends them out to get ironed, and then she just switches them. So, okay, I got a big mix. Hi, New Insight. How you doing? 2s and 1s. Well, let me ask you this then. Hang on a second. If you didn't see this cover, wait a second. Did you see this cover? Put a 1 if you've seen this cover and a 2 if you have not seen this cover yet. Hi, David. Put a 1 if you saw this cover and a 2 if you did not. Starting from Lone Wolf's 2. So, okay, well, I'll tell you what. All right, it's the same thing, a mix. No, hi, Ivan. Yeses and nos. Okay. It is an eye test, Larry, because I'm going to ask you all this. Have you seen on any other platform these covers side by side? The one Mr. T put out and the one on the left? 1 for yes if you've seen these side by side. 2 if you have not seen these side by side. Because I'm willing to wager that no one has seen these two side by side. And I'll tell you a story. Let's see what everybody's saying. Not side by side. Okay, well, Angela says she's seen them side by side before. Who are you watching besides Mountain Man? I am the only one that I'm aware of. Well, Diane says she's seen them side by side. The one on the left is the one I saw first, and it's my understanding that that is what Time magazine had intended to put out and still may put out. They positioned Mr. T's head to look like he has a set of devil horns. There may be copies of both because people got outraged because they did the same thing on Time magazine when he got elected. Not as obvious. It was Trump was face was pointing in the opposite direction. I got to get a screenshot of that. But you see how the one on the left is the one, it is my understanding, that was Time magazine's first attempt to print the cover. The one on the right is the one that the GOP and Trump is putting up as the official Time cover. We shall see how it comes out in the grocery stores. But it's obvious that somebody's trying to make him look like a devil. And I'll get the picture of the Time magazine cover when he was elected in 2016. The cover they put out, it looks like devil horns, but not as obvious as the one that you see on the left. Hi, For Freedom. How you doing? Yeah, I don't know which one Larry's going to be a collector's item. I don't know. But then again, people toy with people on the internet. You never know what's real, but we'll see. That's right, he can be a little devil. But this is the one Mr. T obviously approves of because he posted it on Truth Social. So when you go to the grocery store, it'd be interesting to see what's going on. Maybe they do dopey stuff like that just to get sales. Who knows? Here's a meme for you. White liberals watch in amazement as a black man acquires an ID. Once again from the Babylon Bee. Look at the faces on these goofballs. The guy in the background pointing. So, you heard the devil one was fake, Angela? Well, I don't know. I heard that there was a outrage that word got out, and all I know is the only one Trump put up there didn't do that. I wouldn't spend a dime on Time magazine. I don't give a hoot what they put on the cover. Here we go. Now with Joe, the Biden team is now using handlers to shield Biden from press scrutiny when he enters and exits the White House. So what they do is they get a cadre of staff members carrying bags and get between the shuffling old dementia patient and the so-called press as he goes to the helicopter. No more of him wandering over trying to answer questions. They got like a little blockade up. So that reminded me of a meme, a Babylon Bee meme I had the other day. To avoid falling, Biden to traverse lawn in a giant hamster ball. So here was a good story that came out. Let me find it. Now I didn't get a copy of the video because I got a picture. But remarkable video from El Salvador. Nayib Bukele gathers every single official in the executive branch of his government and then announces a surprise. He asks the attorney general to investigate all of them for bribery. So I couldn't get the video to pull up. It was just a black screen for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what? But then a couple of hours later, this popped up. Let me find it. Here we go. El Salvador President Nayib Bukele has arrested his own presidential commissioner, Christian Herson Flores, for accepting bribes. And there he is right there. He's wearing an Adidas shirt. So, yeah, that's El Salvador. So we know cages are being rattled in our hemisphere, right? Speaking of cages being rattled, where is that one? Our friend in Argentina. I had that article where he fired 70,000 dead weight bureaucrats in his administration. That was maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. And I was going to put this meme up about him, if I can find it. I might not have put it in the studio. About him when I opened up the broadcast. But anyway, Millet, he's cracking heads and taking names. I'm going to have a Mountain Man quiz in a second. I got a picture I'm going to put up and ask people, who is this man? What do we know about this man? Wait a second. Well, I can't find Millet. But I will put this up about Mari Mari. I guess you all have heard this. He made it back after he was attacked. And this was, 4 or 5 days ago he put this video out. I guess his eye was injured. They went after him just like they did Salman Rushdie. But anyway, here's his I'm back about a minute video.
This is home. I am a true blue Aussie. I am proud to be an Australian. And wherever I go, wherever I travel across the globe, when I come back here, this is home. And I said it, I am very proud of these great Anzac warriors who gave their life up to the very human rights, to the very freedom of speech and freedom of religion. They died to keep and preserve the human identity and integrity. I salute my beloved Anzac warriors, and whoever walks in that path must be saluted. And this is why I stand for that freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Every human has the right to the freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Every human being, no matter who that is. Everyone has the right. God bless you. I've kept you for too long, but this is my normal me again. Allah Natarokh.
Stabbed. They didn't like what he was saying, and they get violent. And I'll come back to that in a minute about freedom of speech and religion. But here we go. I don't have to come back to it in a minute. I found it. Here's somebody climbing up the mountain, looking for the wise man at the top of the mountain. Wise man, tell me the secrets of the universe. Free speech includes hate speech. Yeah, because who's to say what's hate speech, right? Now, also, while I was live last night, or it might have been early this morning, this news came out here. The rancher in Arizona, prosecutors will not retry George Allen Kelly. Kelly's trial in the fatal shooting of a Mexican man on his Arizona property ended in a mistrial. So they've decided to not retry him. I guess he's going to go home to his wife. Can you imagine at his age? He's been in jail for how long? And it'll be interesting to hear about what that jury was thinking. Let me see. Tennessee's in the house. Hi, Donna. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Murder horns, yeah. Yeah, they didn't amount to nothing. And then they got Disease X. $1 million bond. Well, they'll release that, but he's out of pocket $100,000. His life savings probably. So here we have a fraud alert. And I'm sure you all heard about this. Maybe you haven't. This was South Carolina. Confirmed. Federal government giving voter registration forms to non-citizen refugees. This turns out that these people were being processed and they were handed voter registration forms and they mailed them back. They were in a packet, I guess a refugee packet. And they mailed them back and wrote a letter saying, you shouldn't do this. We're not citizens. I mean, they were saying it themselves. And guess what happens? The government mails them back the voter registration, even though they mailed it to the government and said, we're not citizens. You all should not be doing this. That got me to thinking. We've always had immigrants. We want immigrants. Okay? And the legal immigration process is still going on. We want immigrants who respect our Constitution, who are trying to escape oppression. Some of our staunchest supporters of the Constitution and the rule of law are people from countries like Cuba, countries like the Eastern Bloc, where there's been socialism and communism. We still have people like that coming, and we want people like that. Intelligent, productive people who will strengthen our nation. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have some coordination with these people who righteously want to become Americans and want to protect and revere our Constitution and appreciate our Constitution, getting into this system and helping us take names and expose this kind of garbage. What better way to earn your citizenship than to help with the patriots that are conducting this counter psyop? That's what my hope is. Now, here's a quick quiz. Let me see. Does anybody know who this person is? the exposing. We're exposing people. Who is this person with Oreos and a red Solo cup? Looks like a big nerd. I didn't even know that. He's got a bottle of Early Times bourbon. I guess that's Kentucky whiskey. And Oreos. Well, that's kind of gross. Who is this? Single songwriter says Cohen. Does anybody know who this person is? Michael? No, it's not Michael Cohen. Got three. Jerry Lee. You're probably right about that, Jerry Lee. But he's not just some P3DO. Okay? No, it's not Epsinio. You got to misspell his name, Tennessee. Kind of blurry. But you're close, Tennessee. And I know there's a little delay. Lone Wolf, stop by, buy me a coffee. I appreciate it, Lone Wolf. I give you some booms toward the end. I don't want the chats to get stuck on the screen. This way I can read them. Almost looks like Bill Gates, Don said. Director of a mainstream media. Cameraman says movie director. Single songwriter says Steven Spielberg. Well, I tell you, he's a magistrate judge. And what is he famous for? Diane said Prince Andrew. He is Judge Bruce Reinhardt. And I'll do the rundown after you guess what he's famous for. He's entered into the books of history. Single songwriter said Kaplan. No. Judge Bruce Reinhardt. And when normal people, I sometimes I call them normies, but people who just watch the regular news, start learning the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. This person. He's famous for a number of different things. Thank you, cameraman. Put the booms in for Lone Wolf. Boom, boom, boom. I'll tell you, Lori, where we seen it. I put it on my broadcast a long time ago, but not in a galaxy far, far away. Did he overturn Proposition? No. It's P3DO, Debbie. So I'll tell you what he used to do. He was the judge overseeing the case where Trump was suing Hillary Clinton, the FBI, and a bunch of newspaper outlets down in Florida. That case drug on for months and months and months, and he got taken off that case by his supervising judge. His supervising judge, what was his name? Singleton, I think, which was the same judge, liberal, that's been on the court for decades, that carried on the Gore versus Bush drama until the Supreme Court made him stop. Not this guy, but the supervising judge. Okay? So this creep was dragging out the Clinton mainstream media lawsuit that Trump had for millions. Then his supervising judge took him off. And within a week of him being taken off of the Clinton case, he did something world famous. Oh, before even all this, you guys will catch this one. I know somebody in the chats will know. Who was the attorney for? Single songwriter got bingo. He didn't approve the Mar-a-Lago raid. He signed a search warrant. But you're right, single songwriter. He signed a search warrant to cause the Mar-a-Lago raid. But before all this, he was a lawyer for Jeffrey Epsteinio. So he was a lawyer for Jeffrey Epsteinio. When Epsteinio got that sweetheart deal, which was later deemed to be illegal, and Jeffrey Epstein was rearrested, then he becomes a magistrate judge. Then he's dragging out the Clinton lawsuit. He gets taken off the Clinton lawsuit. He approves the warrant on Mar-a-Lago. And the judge who took him off of the Clinton case dismissed all the lawsuits by Trump and fined Trump's attorneys millions of dollars. So we're seeing how it all works. And the only reason I did it as a quiz is, well, to make it a little bit fun instead of me saying, here's the creep that did this and used to be. It's to get it more inculcated in your mind that here's this slob sitting there with his early times, his Oreo cookies, and who knows what's in his closets. But we're going to be finding out. But normal people should be asking themselves about somebody like this, an Epstein attorney, screwing up the lawsuits, not allowing evidence to be put in about Russiagate, about mainstream media's misrepresentations, then issuing the warrant on Mar-a-Lago. Even the most TD and then S person has got to look at this and say, wait a minute, something really dirty here. He was not part of the hanging Chad, Diane. His supervising judge was. The one that is fining all of Trump's attorneys down in Florida. But everything, the sanctions they put against Trump's attorneys, the case dismissal, all that stuff is on appeal. There's a lot of stuff we're not privy to simply because no one's reporting on it. Here we go. When they say racism doesn't exist, just remember, George Floyd's family received $27 million. Ashley Babbitt's family received nothing. I like this one too. I could have wrote this. Okay, I'm old. But when I was younger, we knew who won an election on election night. Before modern technology was brought in to make things more efficient. If you don't know this is BS, then your commitment to crazy is truly amazing. Now, this is what I want to put up for normal people to look at. If you all remember, this was weeks ago. Georgia Governor Kemp legal staff has notified the Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger that 17,852 invalid 2020 votes were counted in Fulton County, Georgia alone. Remember, Trump, air quotes, lost that state. Remember, you all put the numbers up for me? 11,700. But this was official notification. They were going to have a hearing about it. At the last minute, the hearing got canceled, but it's still officially registered notification and complaint. And also, I said the other day that a judge has reopened the one of the cases concerning fraud in Georgia. And I think this is a direct result of it. And they're going to find out situations that are going to expose hundreds of thousands of votes. And that is going to blow a hole right in Fannie Willis's case and everything else. Here we go for a normal person to look at. 19,000 border agents, 175,000 IRS agents, 8 times as many agents to target American citizens than to target the drug cartels. Here we go. Hello, government. I'd like to unsubscribe from your service. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Roland, that would automatically give him the win. That's official notification. And it all got delayed, postponed, whatever. A public hearing on the matter got postponed. Now, Citizen Free Press put this up. Protester at UCLA says the quiet part out loud. You're just a white person. You're just a white person. Get out of here. We don't like white people. And that's the lady on the left there. So I put in the comments, ask her if she'd rather have $1 million or a nose full of nickels. That's what a friend of mine used to say to his boss. His boss had a real big honker. He said, you want $1 million or a nose full of nickels? So anyway, but this picture makes me think of something else. That mask business, that is, I think we could safely say, has nothing to do with safety, nothing. Political statement. And I've said in the past, my mom used to cover her face during pollen season or in winter, so she wouldn't get colds and flus. She made me cover my face when I went to school, just like the little boy in A Christmas Story where he had so much clothes on he couldn't even get up after he fell down. Remember that? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these boneheads that show up to courts, they show up to Congress, they show up to protests, and everybody that loots, everybody that runs around committing whatever, they're the only ones wearing it. It ain't for health and safety. It's a political statement or somebody engaged in a criminal act. And that's the way to put it. That's the way to start putting it out there. Speaking of criminal act, and we talked about a little bit last night that DA that got pulled over for speeding. Boy, you know, I asked, and I forgot to check in the comments. I said, what party was she? Because it makes a difference. But I watched the video. She mocked the cop. She laughed in his face. She said, I'll just throw it out anyway. I'm not going to prosecute myself. And you should have run my plate. You should have known because I was driving a black SUV. And then she got into about her husband, and she got into the 3 murder cases. And she issued an apology, but she started off very rude, mocking the cop. And as soon as she found out that body cam footage got out, she went down there and pled out. And now she's put this video up, an apology video. But I tell you what, that body cam footage got released for a reason, because usually these people involved in local politics, in the big club, they stick together. And she made somebody mad. Kind of like Fannie and Nathan made Terrence mad enough to talk to the Trump attorneys, but then he changed his tune after they threatened him. But anyway, they're starting to turn on each other, and I don't know how she's going to recover from it. Yeah, it's all uniparty, single songwriter. But they would be more likely to spill the beans on her if she was a Republican. But we know they're all the same uniparty. Hey, KNS Cleanup, how you doing? Yeah, Fannie Willis, she's getting sued again. And I wouldn't, well, of course I'm not going to be surprised, because if she ends up in jail, there's going to be a lot of them going to jail. Yeah, they'll hang us high as Haman. Yeah, I played that video of him with a patch over his eye. Where'd that go? That child was reading a chat and it just jumped up in the air. Wherever that comment. Okay, Lori, yeah. I just played a video with him talking. He's got a patch over his eye where he has come back. No, nose full of nickels. Rochester Democrat. Yeah. Okay. Well, they're starting to eat their own. Yeah, fake apology. I agree. I never wore one either. But anyway, let's see. Mr. T, he came out, no uncertain terms. Let's see if this is the one. This is Mr. T. This judge has taken away my constitutional right to free speech. I'm the only president candidate in history to be gagged. This whole trial is rigged. And by taking away my freedom of speech, this highly conflicted judge is rigging the presidential election of 2024. Election interference. No uncertain terms. He put out stronger statements than that. He said that judge was corrupt. And I pointed out how he gives people opportunities, like he did with Engoron. Diamond Silk put out something. How are we going to handle these professors and these students that are causing all this trouble on colleges and threatening Jewish students and stuff like that. And this is what I responded to them with. I put above this, Trump says he wants to start enforcing the Aliens Enemies Act. I said, that's okay with me. And then I put this in there, Babylon B, Ilhan Omar paraglides into Columbia campus to lead the protests. So, all jokes aside, and it's not out of spite. It's just a fact of life. Her and Rashida Tlaib should be deported. They should be stripped of their citizenship for their behaviors, number one. But number two, especially with Ilhan Omar for lying on her forms, marrying her brother, all that kind of stuff. We should have absolutely no tolerance for that at all. Now, Clandestine came out with a good thing here, a lot of points. Trump criticizing Netanyahu for October 7th might be the funniest thing ever to happen. Now the pro-Israel crowd are upset because Trump is calling out Israel. And the pro-Palestine crowd are upset because they are now forced to agree with Trump. It's beautiful. And it is, it's got their heads spinning. They don't know what to do. And I found out the real reason Biden is having a problem with this Palestinian stuff right here. Biden dropped support for pro-Palestinian protesters after realizing how bad their hair smells. Oh boy, yeah, booms. Gary, stop by, buy me a coffee. I really appreciate it, Gary. And I tell you what, I'm going to expand this picture of Joe sniffing a nasty-haired Palestinian protester, and I'm going to do some special effects. Pow! There, boom. Let's see. Pow! Now watch my chats get stuck on the screen. Pow! I hope it doesn't say anything crazy on there because it'll stay up there forever. Let me see what kind of boom, pow, bang. Let's see what I got in there. Some of the stuff go off and some of them don't. I want my machine gun. Where is that? Where'd my machine gun go? Oh, they might have took that out. Pow. Well, how about a clapping hands? Oh, I appreciate it. Here we go. Here's a bomb. Let's see if this one goes off. Where it goes off at. And let me know after I do finish with my effects if these chats get stuck on the screen. I don't know why that happens. But anyway, I've got a video of Ronald Reagan that I'm going to play on the way out. I think you all will enjoy. So that one doesn't want to go off. But anyway, holding the line. There's a bomb. Boom. Ha, ha, ha. I was waiting for that to go off. It wouldn't go off. Are my chats stuck on? Oh, no. There we go. Yeah, boom's on the way. All right. I'm seeing if my chats are moving. I don't know if they're stuck on the screen. Just a little quirk in this platform. Here's something I'm going to put up. Harry Potter Castle in Odessa burns after Russian missile attack. And I don't know why they call it the Harry Potter Castle. They may have used it in the movie. But I know one thing. I've been to Europe, and I've been to a lot of old castles. I mean, built in 1200, 1500, a lot of old castles. And I saw this same report, but different footage. The castle roof wasn't on fire yet, but they showed what they claimed were serial numbers on the remnants of bombs that were Ukrainian. Okay, namely, they're bombing their own structures to blame it on the Russians. So this is a historical castle. But I'm also wondering what kind of royal family is it connected to? What kind of creepy stuff could have been going on in that castle? Are they burning their own evidence? You know, just a little something to think about. I'd have to look more on that Harry Potter castle to see how old it is. But it makes no sense for Russia to do that kind of damage to a historical landmark. But it does make sense if they're trying to get rid of some kind of evidence. That's the way I look at it. We know their reputation. Oh, Alnwick. How old is Alnwick Castle single songwriter? Because I've been to Ludwig's Castle, the one that they used to make the Disney Castle. That I've been to that, and I've been to a bunch of others, but nothing over there in the Eastern Europe. So, yeah, it looks like it's burned pretty badly. It's got to be an old castle. I don't know when they built that. I don't know. That's the first time I've heard single songwriter said the name of it. Alnwick Castle. 17th century would be the 1600s. Where's that picture? Where'd it go? I just had it up there. Gosh, I'll put it back up. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to survive. I mean, that roof's going to cave in. You think it's CGI, Gary says. 11th century, that would be 1,000 years old. Wow. The earliest one I've been in was built in 1200. That's the 13th century. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll check more reports, see if it survived. Well, how much of it survived. Here we go. Ilion, or what's her name? Occasional Cortex. I want to fight climate change. Be honest. I am being honest. Be honest. I want communism. Thank you. For being honest. There you go. If y'all want to put it in your Facebook group. Tell them to be honest. Oh, okay, Roland. I see what you're saying. Alnwick is in England, you say? Lori, this is in Odessa, in Ukraine. So I don't know. I don't know why this is Free Press called it Harry Potter's Castle. The news services I saw out of the West didn't call it that. So I'll check tomorrow and see if there are updates on it. Okay, folks, I'm going to play this clip. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me, and I appreciate Lone Wolf and Gary for helping sponsor tonight's program. Gary helped out my last broadcast. I appreciate it very much. And everybody else that's gone to buy me a coffee. Here's a meme I was looking for about Argentina. They're so small, it's hard to see. The state is a parasite. Change my mind. In case you want to get that. I was looking for that when I was talking about he fired 70,000 deadweight employees. Robin, you're not older than dirt. Gary's a young man. So I don't know what castle that is. I don't know. I don't believe it's the same one they use in Hogwarts. I think Citizen Free Press might have got it wrong. If it's an English castle they use, then Citizen Free Press got it wrong. But anyway, here I'm going to play a little something from Ronaldo Magnus. Ronald Wilson Reagan, the great Ronaldo Magnus. And I'll be posting, if something big happens, I will post tomorrow. But I usually don't post on Wednesdays. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And I thank everybody who spent time with me tonight. And I will be seeing you Thursday if I don't go live tomorrow. So you all have a great night. Enjoy this little clip from Ronald Wilson Reagan, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Shouldn't we also have a law that says that any time a legislator or a congressman introduces a spending program, he has to introduce with it a tax program to pay for it? Then let the people find out. There was a woman from a financial firm that was back at the President's Economic Council, and this woman said that you go to some program that government can give, and the people in the polls are apt to read and say, that sounds good, yeah. But she says that isn't exactly accurate. She says put a $100 bill in each person's hand, and then show them the program and say, now, isn't that a nice program? Do you want it? Give me the $100. And she says, see what the poll says then, and how many people hang on to the $100 instead of the program.
In other words, if it's rather hidden and someone doesn't know exactly where it's going to come from.
All the government programs start $1 down, and we'll catch you